Hello and welcome. My name is Sean Stone. I'm a science librarian for the Claremont College's library and the embedded librarian for KGI. If you're watching this video, hopefully you are an ALS360 and you're watching this video prior to the workshops that you'll be doing in class as part of your assignments and ongoing projects. What we're going to do today is set up some basic things that you need to do ahead of time to make the classwork that you're going to do and the projects that you're going to do much simpler. We're going to set up things related to RefWorks, and we're also going to set up things related to interlibrary loan. So to get started, RefWorks, there's a chance that some of you may have used RefWorks before. There's a chance that some of you may already use some other kind of bibliographic citation manager software. Depending on where you're coming from, I would highly advise, particularly if you're not using anything at all, for you to start using RefWorks. It's really going to be a necessity in this class. If you use something else, you may be able to work out something, but really at this point, everyone needs to at least try using RefWorks. So we're going to be setting up accounts and setting up things today. Using RefWorks, it's very simple. The idea behind it is that it's going to be a piece of software that's going to help you organize, maintain, and actually use your citations to properly write with. It's going to do things like make bibliographies for you in whatever style you choose. It's going to allow you to actually write documents in Word that you can then format as well. It makes gathering as well as using citations much easier, as well as, and I'll show you, the ability to share the folders that you set up so that when you're doing a group project, which of course you're going to be doing a lot of them, it will allow you to have a group that will allow you to put your references into one place, which makes things a lot easier when you're at the end of a project and you don't have to take the time to lace together several different people's citation folders. So to start with RefWorks, what you're going to do is, from the library webpage, is about the easiest place to get into it directly. It's just libraries.claremont.edu. And from the center here, there's this quick links. And within quick links, there are a number of important links, and RefWorks is one of them. We'll click on that, and you're going to go to the main RefWorks opening entry page. Now, you'll see this page when you come in through this direction. You'll see this page, which we'll show you how to do later when you are actually importing your citations. If you haven't signed into RefWorks yet and you're in one of the databases and you're trying to import something, this will open up in a new window. So it's of course going to be your starting place. Now the first thing to do, if you have not already, sign up for a new account. If you go just to this link in this bar here, in a overlaid window, you'll see basic information. Sign up with your name, your email address. You get to choose your own login name, pick an area of focus as well as your status as a student, and then you get to also choose your own password. Make sure that you keep track of these. They don't have to be specific to anything. You can essentially make them up as long as they follow the rules for RefWorks. But that also means that the library and IT at the Claremont colleges don't necessarily have direct control over these, so it may be difficult to get them back. So make sure that you write this down, keep track of it, something like that. Once you're done, just click Create Account. That will put you in the system. Once you've done that, then every time you come in, you'll just log in using the name that you have and your password. So mine's Sean Stone, and my password, and I will log in. Now coming in this way, where I haven't actually imported anything, it's just going to dump me into my general RefWorks screen that sort of shows me everything that I have. Of course, if you're just starting this out, you're not going to see all this stuff because you don't necessarily have any references in here yet. To begin, I want to point out that there are several things about RefWorks that are basic things you should know, but there's a lot that you can do with RefWorks that we're not going to get into in this class. Really, a lot of the advanced features of this are really useful. I would highly advise you to spend some time beyond what we're going to be doing in this video and some of the others, looking through this, figuring out what it is and what it can do for you, because there really are a lot of really amazing features of this piece of software. It's honestly one of the best things that you can get through the library as far as a useful software tool. To begin, I want to point out that the help section is fantastic. Honestly, RefWorks is known as having some of the best built-in help as well as tutorials available of any database, any product, particularly that the library has. You can launch a generic help file, which looks just about like any other Microsoft-related help file, which allows you to search things, look things up based on the overall subject area of your question. But there's also this section of tutorials. The tutorials, RefWorks really puts together some really good, short, useful videos on the major portions of the software itself, some of the major modules and useful parts of it. If you spend, just as you can see, 3-4 minutes at a time going through these, watching these flash videos, really, if you spend a half hour doing all this, you'll become an expert at using all the basic and even some of the intermediate and advanced functions of RefWorks. So even if this doesn't necessarily help you that much, you can always come back and realize that if you need to see a particular subsection, it's really easy to access through these tutorials. They're also downloadable as PDFs, so if for some reason you either can't or don't want to watch a flash movie, you can get the PDF, save that, and use it as a tool that you can refer to later, in some ways more easily than you would as a flash video. Now, we've set up our account. You know where to get help and other things if you need it through the software itself. The first thing you're going to want to do whenever you do anything in RefWorks is to really set up, it works as folders. Pretty much every major project or poster, presentation, whatever it is you're doing, it's probably a good idea for each of those to have their own individual folder. And the first thing to do that is, up in the corner here, you're just going to create a new folder. For our purposes, we're going to create a folder that actually is related to the rare disease that we're looking at. In my case, we're looking at advanced fever. We'll create a folder. And if you pay attention, over here, there are lots of different ways to see it, but over here in the folder section on the right here, it actually appeared. I can get into it immediately from here. Folders are fairly simple to manipulate. As you see, the main window here has a section for the references, which is sort of all the references that you have in RefWorks at this time. But you can also look individually by folders if you want to look in the Organize and Share Folders section. So there's not anything in there right now, but I can click on the Dance Fever folder and see what's here. Theoretically, in a fairly short amount of time, you're going to populate this with different things. You can come in here and manipulate them in a variety of ways, and we'll talk more about that later. One thing you do want to do, one thing that you do want to sort of get used to, and this is sort of advanced for what we're doing right now, but it's a good idea to sort of start figuring this out and getting it out of the way as far as something that you understand and use, because it's incredibly useful. It's a necessity for this class, and really, as a KGI student, it's going to be one of the most useful things that you do, which is being able to share folders. Because what you can do is, not only in the case of something like this, where you have an assignment where, and one of the things you're going to do in this is to actually share it with your professor, but you can share them with any number of people in a group or in any kind of setting that will allow you all to sort of put all of your sources and all of your citations into one place at the same time. It makes organizing this stuff, particularly at the end, very, very easy. You can see from this screen of organizing and sharing folders, I can get into the content of Dance Fever. I can also do basic manipulation from this particular icon over here at the right, so I can create subfolders, rename things, clear, delete stuff. I can manipulate duplicates, which is a little bit advanced. If you put the same thing in multiple times, you can help get rid of that. But the next icon is the actual sharing icon. This is what's going to allow you to actually start sharing this study. Now it's going to give you the option to share. This is what the basic thing will look like. You'll choose your folder. In this case, we've already done that. This is going to be the permanent URL that it's going to create that will allow you to that will allow other people to actually access the information that's in this particular shared folder. This is the thing that really is going to be what you can share informally as well as formally. I'll show you there's a way to actually automatically send this out to the people that you want to have it. You can give it a title, information. There are a lot of options here which you can go through which allow you to give different permissions to the people that you're going to share this with. For right now, it's best to just leave them alone, but it is a good idea at some point for you to sort of look through here and see all the different things that you can do with altering the information that you're creating as far as the different options that you have for sharing. And if you don't like some of these options, you can always go back later and change them. But for right now, we're just going to save it. It shows that as being completed, so now you've created a file someplace that will allow other people to get into this particular URL through RefWorks. We're going to cancel out of this, and you can see that the icon's actually changed. When we click on the icon, we can do other stuff now. So in addition to the sharing that we did, we can actually remove the share, we can change the options, and maybe most importantly, we can send out an automated email. What this will do is, I can send this, of course, with two-line to whoever I want, partners that you're doing a project with, your professor, whomever, and you can see that the body of this, which you can alter however you want, is going to start out with the most important thing, the permanent URL that will actually link them into this folder, as well as basic information that you can put in here, and then you'll send email. Once you've sent this out, this will then allow that person that you send it to start putting things into the folder as well, so that you have one place, one centralized place that you're putting things into. Now, that's share. When you're done with it, if you want to be done with it, you can always remove the share after you're done, if you shared the wrong thing. Now, the other major portion of what you're going to do today, and that you need to have done before you come to class for the library workshop, is to deal with interlibrary loan. Some of you may already have interlibrary loan accounts. If you do and know how to use it, that's great. If you don't, though, we want to make sure that A, you set up an account today, and B, that you understand the basics of using interlibrary loan, particularly to look for articles, because that's what you're really going to be doing related to the classes that you're in now, particularly this class. Now, from the main library website, in this sort of olive main bar here where all the major stuff is, there's Iliad and Link Plus. Iliad is actually the software that's going to run, that runs ILL for us. This is going to be, hence the cute little name, including ILL in the name, but you'll connect to Iliad through this particular link. Link Plus deals with getting books from other California institutions, but today we're going to deal specifically with the thing that allows you to get articles. Now, if you haven't done so before, normally if you already have an account, you could log in here. Otherwise, you're going to need to create an account. That's one of the things, if you haven't, we want you to do today. It's going to give you basic information. Read over this, understand the importance about username and password. There's certain issues that you need to be aware of as far as copyright is concerned, as well as other information. There's a link here if you have other questions that you need answered. And then just click I agree. Now, here's the basic form. Fill it out to the best of your ability. Most of this stuff won't really matter so much. It's required, but I can almost guarantee that they're not going to send something to your address. Most of the time they won't even necessarily use your phone. 99% of the interactions that you have during a library loan are going to happen through email. But go ahead and fill this out completely. Submit your information. I'm just going to cancel out of it. And when it's time to sign back into interlibrary loan, you're just going to put in your information and log on. Now, when you log in through the main library website or from wherever, as long as it's not through a database, which I'll show you in a moment, you're going to be defaulted into this screen. This is what it's going to look like when you get a message in your email that says something like, okay, your article has been delivered. Click on this link, log into it, access the articles that you've been sent. You can order a lot of things for interlibrary loan, articles, but other things, books, conference papers, you can see all those sorts of things here. When you receive things, you'll actually use the view module. Now, like I said, it defaults you into what actually is outstanding requests. So when you first get into here, it may look like you don't have anything waiting for you, but in reality, these are the things that you've requested. If you've received everything you've requested, you're not going to see anything. You need to actually look in electronically received articles. This is where your stuff comes to wait for you once you've actually ordered it. Now, you can see that in most cases you're going to get something as a PDF. It's fairly simple. Just click it, download it. Make sure you save it or do something with it. This place only works as a holding tank for 30 days from the time that it gets posted. So do not use this as a place to keep your stuff. Make sure that you do something with it, because after 30 days it'll be deleted, and you'll have to go through the process of actually ordering it exactly the same way all over again. So it'll put you behind if you're tight on time. Now, this is fine. This is how you would go about doing things if you actually want to access your articles. But how do you order articles? Now, we're going to go much more in-depth when it comes to searching databases and things like that in class and as part of other assignments. But I want to show you in general what it's going to look like for you to order something through a database. Now, if we go into the main library website again, if you see this database pull-down menu, the easiest way to get into the most used databases is to do this. We'll look in Web of Science. And we're just going to do a very general search for rare diseases. We get tons of results. The important thing to pay attention here, we're not really doing any real searching. What we're doing is figuring out how you would go about getting articles. So imagine that this one at the top is important to you. The key to all of this is going to be these green Get This Item buttons. When you click these, it'll open in a new window. And what you'll see is the results as to whether or not we have electronic access to this particular article. Now, in some cases, you will see links that may link directly to the article or the journal itself. If that's the case, then chances are we have it in full text. You'll actually link into it. You may need to drill down a little bit, but you can usually get to the PDF that way. Many times, though, maybe even a majority of times, there's much more stuff that we don't have than what we do. So you're going to need to get down to the electronic delivery interlibrary loan link. Now, I've already been logged in, so it's going to take me directly in. If I wasn't, it would actually take me to that start screen. I'd have to log in again. But you can see that when you do this through one of the databases through the library, you get to your article request page, and it actually fills out all the information for you. The volume, all the information. Make sure that this looks okay. Sometimes there might be a glitch, so make sure it looks the way it should and that all the major information is in here. Make sure it's all right. Once you're happy with it, go down and click Submit Request. Once this goes to the Interlibrary Loan Office, it'll usually, between 24 to 48 hours, you'll get a response saying that usually that they're just sending you a PDF, and you'll log in just like we did in the beginning there. You'll be able to access it that way. Occasionally it might take longer. Make sure you're not doing this at the last minute because it does take some time. Sometimes it's very fast, depending on when you're doing it. I've gotten them in as little as a few hours, depending on when you place them during the day. But it's a tremendously simple and convenient way to get virtually any article. And there's really no excuse for not being able to get something because everything is available to you this way. A couple things to note about this. Like I said, don't wait until the last minute. The other thing is that, and this sounds somewhat silly, but bear with me, order things in languages that you can read. As stupid as that might sound, in a huge database like Web of Science, you'll note that there are an awful lot of foreign language science journals out there. In many cases, they masquerade and look very much like English language journals because the title and abstract, which is usually all you ever see, are in English. Make sure, if you have any questions, a lot of times about the overall language or anything else, make sure that you ask someone. There are ways in the databases to filter those out. A lot of times you'll also see that perhaps the title is in brackets. In that case, usually it's an indication that it's not an English language journal. Just make sure you're getting them in a language you can read, because usually if you accidentally order something in a non-English language, they'll send you a message saying, this is in Polish or this is in Czech. Do you really want it? If you don't, you put yourself behind. Worst case scenario is it somehow slips through their filters and you end up with, and usually those are the hardest ones to get, so it may be a week later before you get a paper you were counting on that you don't actually have the ability to read. So make sure that you pay attention to that stuff. Now, that's pretty much everything you should know as far as an introduction to the basic services that you're going to be using. If you have questions about this, please contact someone at the library, myself, any of your professors, and make sure that you ask questions if there's anything you don't understand. Otherwise, after this, we'll see you in class and we'll do a lot more with this stuff. Thanks for watching.